LPBW's Zach Roloff reveals where he stands with family after falling out. Dear loves, welcome to TLC Drama. Please do subscribe my YouTube channel. Little People, Big World, alum Zach Roloff revealed where he stands with his family after their falling out was documented on the TLC show. During the June 19th episode of the Raising Heights with Zach Tori podcast, Zach, 35, and his wife, Tori Roloff, were asked by a fan, "I'm curious about family dynamics. What's the relationship with the siblings, Dad, Mom?" "It's all right," Zach responded. "Molly, Roloff, and me have a pretty good relationship." While Zach added that his relationship with his youngest brother, Jacob Roloff, is decent, he did not reveal where he stands with his twin brother, Jeremy Roloff. "I would say that there was a lot of very hard dynamics the last couple of years," Tori, 34, chimed in. "I feel like right now, currently, we're at one of the better spaces that we've been at with your family in a while." When it comes to his relationship with his siblings, Zach said that things are melting. He continued, "The kids being together helps a lot, and they all love each other and love hanging out." Zach and Tori share children, Jackson, 8, Lila, 5, and Josiah, 3, while Jacob, 28, shares son Mateo with his wife, Isabel Rock. Meanwhile, Jeremy, 35, and his wife, Audrey Roloff, share kids Ember, 7, Bode, 5, Radley, 3, and Mirabelle, 13 months. The father of 3 said that his relationship with his mother, Amy Roloff, is good, though things were rocky with her for a little bit there, with her moving out of the farmhouse and all that stuff. Tori then clarified that Amy, 62, is someone they can call no matter what, no matter the time of day, and that she's the best grandma ever. Then my dad comes up and sees baseball games and things like that. Does the Christmas thing, Zach said about his relationship with Matt Roloff. But yeah, it's still, Tori said there's no relationship there when it comes to Matt, 63, and Zach agreed. "But I do feel like the siblings, I feel like all of you have kind of come around, which is nice," Tori added. "It's like, what does our relationship look like right now? It's not gonna look like what it did 10 years ago. We have different things to talk about. We're adults now," Zach said of their changing relationships. "Is it going to be what it was? No. Things change also that are just natural. But definitely it's melting, and then it's better." Fans previously watched Matt and Zach's relationship hit its breaking point when the Roloff patriarch decided to not sell their family farm, Roloff Farms, to any of his children, and instead put it on the market in May 2022. During the podcast episode, Zach and Tori explained that they rarely go to the family's farm and said their most recent visit was for Mateo's birthday party. "The farm is definitely not a place that we seek out," Tori shared. Zach Roloff and his wife Tori opened up on their podcast about where Zach's relationships with his parents and siblings are now, the Little People. Big World alum said that while things are in a good place with Mom Amy and his siblings, he and his dad Matt are still strained. Zach also spoke openly about his relationship with the family's farm. Zach Roloff is in a better space with his family. On the June 19th episode of Raising Heights with Zach Tori, Zach, 35, and his wife Tori, 34, answered questions from listeners. "I'm curious about family dynamics," one viewer wrote. "What's the relationship with the siblings, Dad, Mom, Zach, his siblings and parents Matt and Amy starred on TLC's Little People, Big World beginning in 2006. "It's all right," Zach said. "Molly and me have a pretty good relationship. He also said his relationship with brother Jacob was decent. He did not mention his twin brother Jeremy by name. "I would say that there was a lot of very hard dynamics the last couple of years," Tori said. "I feel like right now, currently, we're at one of the better spaces that we've been at with your family in a while. Zach agreed. Between the siblings, things are melting, he said. The kids being together helps a lot, and they all love each other and love hanging out. Zach and Tori, who married in 2015, share 3 children, Jackson, 8, Lila, 5, and Josiah, 3. Jacob, 38, welcomed son Mateo in 2021 with wife Isabel, and Jeremy and wife Audrey share 4 children, Ember, 7, Bode, 5, Radley, 3, and Mirabelle, 13 months. And then my mom's good, Zach continued, and he mentioned that his dad, Matt, comes up to visit. Your mom's always been good, by the way, Tori said of Zach's mom, Amy. Zach said things were rocky with her for a little bit there, with her moving out of the farmhouse and all that stuff. Tori clarified that she meant Amy is someone they can call no matter what, no matter the time of day, and that she's just been the best grandma ever. Zach agreed. Then my dad comes up and sees baseball games and things like that, does the Christmas thing, Zach said. But yeah, it's still, Tori continued. But I do feel like the siblings. I feel like all of you have kind of come around, which is nice. Zach said part of it was just about getting older. It's like, what does our relationship look like right now? It's not gonna look like what it did 10 years ago. We have different things to talk about. We're adults now, he said. Is it going to be what it was? No. Things change also that are just natural, but definitely it's melting, and then it's better. Little People, Big World ran from 2006 to 2024. Zach and his parents, Amy, 62, and Matt, 63, all have dwarfism. Back in May 2024, Zach said during an episode of the podcast that his relationship with his father was not existent. The two argued throughout the 25th and final season of the show, and he explained, the filming ended, you kind of just give yourself some space and then the show airs 6 months later and it kind of brings up some old wounds. Dust is settled, but like nothing's been fixed or anything, Zach said. Stuff comes out on social media and you realize that people are thinking the same thing, and it's kind of a bummer because then it's like, oh, I thought we were kind of evening out a little bit. During the June 19th episode, Zach and Tori also shared that they have rarely been to the family's farm and most recently visited for Mateo's birthday. The farm is definitely not a place that we seek out, Tori said. The farm, Zach said, brings up a lot of resentment and old feelings. He added, it would be awesome for his kids to spend time there, but it's unrealistic in part because they moved over an hour away. It's also like, just there's certain dynamics of the farm that haven't changed either, he said. He also noted that the farm has been for sale for 4 years, but said, I'm not going to air out every piece of dirty laundry. Little People, Big World alum Zach Roloff and his wife Tori shared insights into Zach's parents and his siblings. The reality star shared in a recent chat on his podcast, Raising Heights with Zach Tori, that things are improving with his family while replying to a listener's query. It's all right, Zach responded. Molly and me have a pretty good relationship. He added that things with his brother Jacob are decent, but didn't mention his twin Jeremy by name. I would say that there was a lot of very hard dynamics the last couple of years. I feel like right now, currently, we're at one of the better spaces that we've been at with your family in a while, Tori said. Agreeing with Tori, Zach noted, between the siblings, things are melting. The kids being together helps a lot, and they all love each other and love hanging out. The TV personality also praised his mom, calling her the best grandma ever. Adding about her father, he said that Dad Matt still visits, comes up and sees baseball games and things like that, does the Christmas thing. It is pertinent to mention that Little People, Big World aired from 2006 to 2024. Little People. Big World stars Zach and Tori Roloff have been married since 2015 and share 3 children. But fans noticed the TLC couple seemed just as in love as the day they said "I do" in a new video. On Sunday, August 18, Tori took to Instagram with a playful clip featuring herself, Zach, and their kids Jackson, 7, Lila, 4, and Josiah, 2. When the bedtime sillies hit, she captioned the update. Ike Barinholtz talks working with Kathryn Hahn on The Studio and gets nostalgic about Mindy Project. Ike Barinholtz talks working with Kathryn Hahn on The Studio and gets nostalgic about Mindy Project in the video. The family of 5 sat on or stood near a couch with serious looks on their faces as Sweet But Psycho by Ava Max played. The beat dropped, and suddenly the Roloff started energetically grooving but in slow motion, while shining flashlights at themselves. Many fans in the comments noticed Zach stealing a loving glance at his wife. One Instagram user wrote, "I love the way your husband looks at you. He adores you." Another follower commented, "It's the look Zach is watching you that got me. Love this," while someone else echoed, "The way Zach looks at you." Yet another Instagram user pointed out, "Tori Roloff, it looked like Zach was absolutely adoring you." Josiah, on the other hand, he totally was judging. The mom of 3 later added, "Zroloff07 also. Can we just see us and our kids? Jackson, Lila, and I in a full send. You and Josiah like, what are these fools doing?" Little People Big World star Zach Roloff and his wife Tori have shared their opinions about the live-action Snow White remake in the past. But following the release of a teaser trailer with revamped dwarves, the TLC star sent a direct message to actor Peter Dinklage. On Saturday, August 10, the official teaser trailer for the live-action Snow White starring Rachel Zegler was released. The video gave fans a glimpse of the newly revamped dwarves after Disney scrapped first-look photos reimagining them as magical creatures. Ike Barinholtz talks working with Kathryn Hahn on The Studio and gets nostalgic about Mindy Project. Ike Barinholtz talks working with Kathryn Hahn on The Studio and gets nostalgic about Mindy Project. Except, instead of including any real actors, the dwarves are now CGI. Zach responded to the change via his Instagram story, calling out the film for completely nixing LP actors. So they aren't just taking away the dwarves and making Snow White, they are CGIing the dwarves. This isn't 1937. There are actually a lot of people with dwarfism walking around, he wrote alongside a photo of Zegler with the new dwarves. Either focus on Snow White or own the dwarf representation. If you've been following our podcast, I've had thoughts on this. Zach continued in another segment of his Instagram story. They updated/diversified Snow White, but went way backward on the dwarf side. Hope Dinklage is happy. This wasn't the first time the Roloff family has spoken out about the film. During a March 14th episode of Zach and Tori's podcast Raising Heights, Zach explained that little people being on camera is very powerful when it comes to showing and promoting diversity. Even if it's not shown in the best way, we can correct that, we can adjust, we move forward, he said. It's still a very powerful thing. The TLC star 34 continued. Even though some people might say, "You're not being portrayed the right way," there are still parts of the population that will simply look at you and be like, "You are on TV, you're awesome, that's so cool, I respect you." Zach pointed out that Disney replacing dwarves with magical creatures took away jobs for actors with dwarfism. Instead, he argued the characters should be modernized without negative stereotypes. So they're being progressive by updating Snow White. Be progressive by updating the dwarves, he explained. You could tell the story of the 7 dwarves without putting them in a cave, without making it all magical and a bunch of hermits out in the wilderness mining. In January 2022, Dinklage, who also has dwarfism, criticized the live-action remake of Snow White on Marc Maron's WTF podcast. "Literally no offense to anything, but I was sort of taken aback," Dinklage said of the film. "They were very proud to cast a Latino actress as Snow White, but you're still telling the story of Snow White and the 7 dwarfs. Take a step back and look at what you're doing there. It makes no sense to me." The Game of Thrones star added, "You're progressive in one way, but you're still making that F-bomb backwards story about 7 dwarfs living in a cave together. Have I done nothing to advance the cause from my soapbox? I guess I'm not loud enough." Not long after Dinklage's comments, Disney published a statement via Good Morning America, announcing it was taking a different approach with these 7 characters in an effort to avoid reinforcing stereotypes from the original animated film. Zach and Tori Roloff are opening up about the early stages of their relationship when family questioned their love. On Thursday's episode of the Raising Heights podcast, The Little People, Big World alums talk about their experience as a mixed-height couple, with Tori being average-sized and Zach having dwarfism. During the conversation, Tori reveals that, like many people, her family and friends had questions when she revealed that she was dating Zach, especially her father, who wasn't keen on the idea at first. Tori and Zach Roloff talk about her family's questions at the beginning of their relationship. TLC, "I can remember getting ready to go on a date with you and saying who you were and showing him a picture of you and him being like, 'No, what are you talking about?'" she recalls to Zach. "This is not the guy I pictured for you." He literally asked, like, "Are you sure?" multiple times. He was like, "I don't know about this." She adds, "Then he met you, and I joke all the time, but pretty sure my dad likes you better than me now. My whole family likes you more." Tori, 33, and Zach, 34, began dating while they were in high school in 2011. The pair tied the knot in 2015 on the Roloff family farm. Together, they are parents of Jackson, 7, Lilia, 4, and Josiah, 2. Tori says that when her father met Zach, his perception of him and the height difference changed. As far as the height difference, though, he definitely overlooked that once he met you, Tori says. He was like, "Oh, I think I get it." As for her family and friends, they also had questions and concerns about their romance, but they let them go once they got to know Zach. "I think that there were questions when we started dating from my friends and family. But once everyone met you, they were like, 'Gosh, I get why this girl is into him. I get this scenario. I get this relationship. Height didn't matter," she shares. Zach notes that as a person with a disability, you want people to overlook the obvious physical aspect, despite how hard it may be. Tori had no issue doing that. "You look for all these things that are wrong when the person's not right for you," Tori says. "Once I met you, even though your height is different than what I would have imagined, there was nothing wrong with you. There was nothing that I could pick apart." Tori and Zach agree that they haven't faced a lot of public adversity during their relationship, but chalk that up to their Little People Big World fame. The pair also note that tuning people out has also worked in their favor. "Outside opinions shouldn't matter," Tori says. "They could have kept me from happiness, and they could have kept you away from happiness as well. We didn't let other people's opinions come between us or our relationship." Tori and Zach's love story played out during their time on Little People Big World. Zach's family, including his parents, Amy and Matt Roloff, and 3 siblings, all appeared on the series since 2006. Earlier this year, Tori and Zach officially exited the series with their kids at the end of the last season. Though Tori and Zach Roloff have been married for nearly a decade, Tori admits that her husband wasn't who she and her loved ones initially had in mind. In a Tuesday, June 20th episode of the Couples Raising Heights podcast, the former Little People, Big World stars opened up about being in a mixed-height relationship. When asked if she had ever pictured herself not marrying someone who was over 6 feet tall, Tori confessed that she never imagined she would. "The answer is no," she said candidly. "It's funny because growing up, I had lots of, okay, not to sound conceited, but there were a couple guys who were admirers of me that I would write them off and say, oh, they're too short." Now that she's had time to reflect on her dating life, Tori explained that height was never an issue, but rather, she was looking for an excuse to leave her relationships. "It was me being like, I don't actually care for this person. I don't see myself with this person," she continued, adding how her perspective shifted once she met Zach. "Once I met you, even though your height was different than what I imagined, there was nothing wrong with you. There was nothing that I could pick apart and be like, oh, I can't date this guy because he's too short." Tori wasn't the only one who had initial hesitations. The TLC star revealed that her father was also skeptical about whether or not Zach would be a good match. "I can remember getting ready to go on a date with you and saying who you were and showing my dad a picture of you and him being like, no. What, no? What are you talking about? This is not the guy I pictured for you. This is not right," she recalled. He literally asked, "Are you sure?" Multiple times he was like, "I don't know about this." "And then he met you?" She laughed. "I joke all the time because I'm pretty sure my dad likes you better than me now." Once her father met Zach, Tori said that their height difference was definitely overlooked and he understood why she liked him so much. "I think that there were definitely questions when we started dating from my friends and family," she continued. "But then once everyone met you, everyone was like, gosh, I get why this girl's into him. I get this scenario and this relationship, and then the height just didn't matter." The couple met when Tori was working at Roloff Farms and spent the 2010 pumpkin season picking squash with Zach. They eventually began dating in 2011 and went on to get married on the family farm in July 2015. Since then, they've welcomed 3 children, Jackson, Lila, and Josiah. Tori, and Zach Roloff are opening up about the possibility of changing their children's education structure. On the latest episode of the Couples Raising Heights podcast, released on Thursday, the former Little People, Big World stars discuss the idea of homeschooling their children, Jackson, 7, Lila, 4, and Josiah, 2. "Take every year as it comes," Tori says to the fan question asking if they would be open to taking their kids out of the traditional school system. "I feel like every child is different. Every year is different." Tori, 33, taught kindergarten before she transitioned to being a stay-at-home mom full-time. When asked if she would make her return to the classroom, she's not sure. "Never say never," she says to the idea. "I think in today's climate, no, I would not go back to public school at least. However, I feel like I get the best of both worlds right now because I am a stay-at-home mom and I